Okay, everybody. If you're watching from the United States, I'd like to see a 1. If you're watching from Vietnam, good morning, Vietnam, give me a 2. If you're from Australia, let me see a 3. And then anywhere else, Canada, Germany, New Zealand, Japan, anywhere else, just tell me where you're from. So I see a lot of 1s. I see a lot of 1s and some 2s. I know that most of my audience is from the United States. And then we have a lot of people watching from Vietnam as well. So, all right. Today's lesson is on past tense verbs. Past tense verbs là động từ quá khứ đó. Now, we've already done it. Đã làm rồi. Okay, so verbs that are past tense. Now, we have 4 rules for regular verbs. 4 rules. Of course, there are always exceptions to the rule. That means they break the law. They don't make sense. You just have to remember them. All right. Are you ready to learn some? And then, if we have time, I'd love to meet some of you so you can come on video and we can speak a little English. All right? Okay. So here we go. This is rule number 1 for regular verbs. This is pretty easy. To make past tense with most regular verbs, all you have to do is add an ed at the end. Walk becomes walked. Okay? You just add ed at the end. Ready? Let's see what happens. Play becomes played. Played. Cook becomes cooked. Cooked. So it sounds like a T. Sometimes it sounds like a T. Sometimes it sounds like a D. Stay, stayed. Stayed. Rain, rain. This is a difficult word for lots of Vietnamese. I don't know why. Rain becomes rained. Rained. Clean becomes cleaned. I cleaned the kitchen today. I cleaned the kitchen. Want becomes wanted. Wanted. He wanted to go. Start becomes started. Started. Rule number 2. If a regular verb ends with the letter E, then all you have to do is add a D. Like the word love. Love ends with an E, so all you have to do is put a D at the end. Loved. Loved. Smile becomes smiled. 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 I think this is a hard word for Vietnamese. Like the word mile, smile, while. Okay. Like if you can say the word why, tại sao đó, W-H-Y, you can make the sound, why. Thì khi mà quý vị nói cái chữ wild, W-I-L-D, you say wild. Okay. Smiled. Smiled. Like becomes liked, liked. Care, because it ends with an E, add a D, becomes cared, cared. He cared for her. Lie becomes lied, lied. He lied to me. Nói láo đó. He lied to me. Bake becomes baked, baked. Sounds like a T, baked. Rule number 3. Okay, now it's getting a little bit trickier. If the regular verb ends in a consonant, consonant là phụ âm. If it ends in a consonant and Y, then you remove the Y and you add I-E-D. That's a lot to remember, okay? So the word cry becomes cried, cried. But when you write it, okay, you remove the Y and you add I-E-D, cried. Yeah. Dry becomes dried, dried. Someone is saying it's very difficult to pronounce ED after the verb. You know why that's difficult? Because most Vietnamese love to drop the ending sound. Whether it's past tense or not, even if it's a normal word like 6, they always drop the ending sound. But past tense is all about the last sound. So if you drop it, you're mispronouncing the word. Okay? Fry, fried. Okay, so remember, if it ends in a consonant and the letter Y, get rid of the Y and add I-E-D. Try, tried, tried, tried. Marry becomes married, married, married. So a lot of Vietnamese may say, oh, he married her. Married. He married her. Married her. Okay, you have to have the D. If he already did it, he married her. Okay. It's all about the last sound. Study. Studied. Studied. If you use the sentence, I study all night long. Okay. Tại vì người Việt mình hay bỏ quên cái sound, cái âm ở sau đó. If you say I study all night long, that means you normally do. You always do. Còn nếu mà quý vị muốn nói cho người ta biết là hôm qua đó là quý vị là study all night. Cái mình học bài cả nguyên đêm hôm đó. You have to say studied. I studied all night. I studied all night. Yeah. Studied all night. Worry. Worried. Worried. So same thing. A lot of Vietnamese say, oh, I was so worried. No, I was so worried. Worried. Okay, I was so worried. Okay. I know that you're asking about when to say T and when to say D. We'll go through it again, and you'll be able to see a lot of the similarities. And sometimes there are exceptions, so you just have to remember. Okay, rule number 4. If the regular verb ends in a single vowel, là một cái nguyên âm, and a single consonant, một cái phụ âm, like the word stop, O-P, then what you have to do is you have to double the consonant and then add ed. You see how I did that? The orange letter, you double the consonant, then add ed, okay? Clap becomes clapped. Clapped. Plan, plan becomes planned. Planned. For example, here's a sentence where if you don't make that sound, it's a different meaning. Okay. If you say, I plan to go. I plan to go. Là tôi tính đi. But let's say you didn't make it. And you're like, well, I planned to go. I planned to go. That means you had planned. You did plan. Okay? Planned. Rip. Ripped. Ripped. Mop becomes mopped, right? You double the consonant, add ed. Then there are exceptions. So they don't follow the rules. Like run. You don't say runned, you say ran. He ran away. Make becomes made. Okay, it's not maked, it's made. Win becomes won. Okay, it's not wind, it's won. He won the lottery. Spit becomes spat. Spit, spat. Sleep becomes slept. So remember, these are exceptions. There are other ones too. Exceptions to the rule. Okay, let's test your knowledge. Okay? So before I give you the answer, I want to know what you think. Jump. To make that past tense, what do? You add ed, it becomes jumped. Jumped. Cry. You remove the y, add ied. Cried. Cried. She cried when he left. She cried. Carry. Carry ends in y. Remove the y, add ied. Carried. Carried. He carried her over the threshold. Shove. Shove the là you shove somebody. Shove. What do you do with shoved? Oh, shoved. You just add a D. Why? Because it already ends in an E. So you just add a D. Shoved. Shoved. Chop. What do? It ends in an O and a P. You doubled the consonant, add ED. Chopped. Chopped. Order. This is easy. I ordered a lot of food. I ordered a lot of food. Fly. Oh. What do you do with fly? I'm trying to trick you. I'm trying to trick you. What do you do with fly? Fly is one of those words that doesn't follow the rule. It's not flied, it's flew. Flew. The bird flew overhead. Okay, flew, flew. Here's another one, draw. What do you do with draw? Draw. This is another one. It doesn't follow the rules. It becomes drew. Okay? Drew, not drawed. Drawed. A lot of little kids, right, when they're learning to speak, they would say drawed. Okay, so that is our 4 rules. Okay, I'm going to go through it again, and we're going to see if we can see some of the similarities for how to pronounce something. We're back. Going back. We're reversing. Going back in time. There we go. Rule number 1. So most of your verbs, all you do is add ed. Okay? Play, played, played. Okay, so that one sounds like a D. Played. Cooked. That sounds like a T. Cooked. Cooked. Played. Cooked. Stayed. Oh, stayed. Rained. Rained. You can see that most of the time it'll sound like a D. Cleaned. Okay, most of the time sounds like a D. Words like wanted, because it already ends in a T. Well, you can't put another T at the end. You can't say want, right? So it becomes wanted. Same thing with the word start. It ends in a T. So the way you pronounce it, you're going to hear started. Okay? Cooked. It ends in that C sound, cooked. So it sounds like a T at the end, cooked. Other words where it sounds like a T would be baked, baked. Okay? After a while, you should get used to it. Most words, you add ed, and then it sounds like a D. Stayed, rained, cleaned, wanted, started. And then, of course, with words that end in an E and you add D, then it's going to sound like a D. Loved, smiled, liked. Liked sounds like a T. So do you see a similarity yet? Words that have the k, okay, that ends with a K, that sound, k. Liked, baked, cooked. Sounds like a T. Most other words will sound like a D. Cared, lied, baked. Sounds like a T. For words that end with a Y, remember we remove the Y, add IED. So when you add IED, it's going to sound like a D. Dried, fried, tried, married, studied, okay? Worried. All sounds like a D. Here, when you have to double the consonant, add ed, stop, okay? Stopped. Sounds like a T. Stopped. Clapped. Sounds like a T. Planned. Sounds like a D. Ripped. Mopped. And of course, our exceptions. Exceptions, you just have to know. You just have to know. Jumped. Jumped. Sounds like a T. Cried. Carried. Okay. Shoved. Chopped. Sounds like a T. Chopped. Mopped. Stopped. Those all sound like a T. Ordered. Okay. Flew. Drew. That's just part of vocabulary. When you know your vocabulary, then you'll know the exceptions to the rule. Vietnamese, we don't have past tense, right? We don't have past tense. We always say the word đã, là khi mà mình đã làm rồi đó. Nó thành là quá khứ, nhưng mà mình không có cái here. We don't change our words. We add words, right? That's why it's very difficult. But you have to remember to always pronounce the ending sound. That's very, very important. Okay, I have someone new here. Hiền. Ready? Ready, Hiền. Here we go. Hello.
Hi, chị.
Where are you? And tell me.
I'm from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And how long have you been in the United States?
Around 15 years. More than 15 years, yeah.
And what do you do over there?
I'm a nail tech.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
How long have you been learning English?
I have English in high school in Vietnam.
Oh.
Yeah. And and when I came here, I took the at first I took the college, and I dropped the college, and I went to the English the ESL. Yes, for 4 years. And after that, I don't know what I want to be. So I dropped the school and just go to work.
So I want you to practice one thing, and it's a very common mistake that Vietnamese make. Like when you say the word the.
Yeah.
The. See,
Yeah.
nhiều lúc tại vì nếu mà mình nói không quen đó, mình cảm thấy là nó, it feels weird that you move your mouth that way.
Yeah.
Nhưng mà when you do that, you pronounce it perfectly.
Yeah.
Nói đi.
The.
Yeah, see, so you can say it. Nhưng mà khi mà Hiền nói chuyện đó, you say the. Nó thành cái chữ đi. The, that, this.
Yeah.
So just say the. That. This. Yeah. Remember the S at the end, yeah? This. Yeah. See? Yeah. So you can say it. Yeah. You're so lazy.
Yes,
Stop it with the lazy.
When I'm practicing, I can say it look like number 3. But when I talk, I forgot.
Yeah.
And when I just say out loud, I'm missing.
Yeah. But you should try. Vì some people they don't care. Some people họ không có care, họ nghĩa là họ nói người ta hiểu được là được rồi chứ họ cũng không có care, and that's okay too. Nhưng mà nếu mà mình muốn mà tập luyện sao cho nó chính xác một chút đó, then just pay attention. And you're lucky là tại vì you get to talk to people every day.
Yes.
Right? So you can talk to them every day. So practice your English and just take a little time. The. This. That. Yeah. See, so when you pronounce it perfectly.
Yeah.
But when you talk, Nó thành là the with this. Yeah, it's a very common Vietnamese mistake. So try, okay?
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
chị. Yeah.
Okay. So good luck in Chicago. Say Chicago.
Yeah.
Say Chicago.
Chicago.
Shh. It's a SH sound chứ không phải là CH. Chicago.
Chicago.
No. Shh. Shh. Nó sung sướng nói đi. Sung sướng.
Sung sướng.
No. Sung sướng.
Sung sướng. So.
No. Người Nam cứ sung sướng. No. Sung sướng.
Sung sướng.
Okay. Shh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Chicago. Chicago.
Go.
Go.
Chicago.
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 No.
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Chicago.
Chicago. Chicago. Người Việt mình hay nói là Chicago nha. Nhưng tại vì họ thấy cái chữ CH. Cái kêu là Chicago. No. Chicago.
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, Chicago rồi. Bây giờ Andrew sửa lại được chưa? Ủa? Mới đó được. You know what? Oh, no. Here it is. I unmuted you. Rồi nói đi.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right.
All right.
Well, hi,
okay.
Leyna. Hello, everybody.
Tell us about yourself. Where are you and what do you do?
Name's Andrew from Dallas. And I work for the federal. Been here 30 years-ish. 32 years to be exact.
How old were you when you came to the U.S.?
I was 20.
You were?
I was 20. I was 20.
Wow. Your English is very good.
Well, I've been staying with the American. I stay in the dorm with the students. And come in contact with them like daily basis.
Right.
And,
that's great.
There was years that I hardly see Vietnamese, you know.
Right. See, mấy người mà họ làm việc chung với người Mỹ nhiều hoặc là like I grew up in Minnesota, so all of my friends were người Mỹ. My high school, me and my brother the only Vietnamese, right? So mà lúc đó là những là Mỹ đen cũng không có nhiều, đừng có nói là người Việt nữa. Then my high school. So our English is better because we used it more.
That's right.
Right? We used it more. So you're like a perfect example. And I'm so impressed that you came here at 20 and your pronunciation is so good. Nhưng mà ngoài cái pronunciation ra đó, you know what is so good? Is you have a great voice.
Well, you know what? I quit smoking. Otherwise, my voice would have been like way deeper.
Really? Way deeper. Well, no, it's deep enough. Don't go back to smoking.
Okay, I'm not gonna get back to
Nhưng
that.
mà cái smoking không phải là deep voice mà cái smoking là cái nó càng là khác. Right. So you have a very full voice. So one thing, a lot of Vietnamese, especially women, and I describe the voice as thin.
Okay.
Like they have a very thin voice. And I don't know if nếu mà dịch qua tiếng Việt nó có make sense hay không. Là khi mà mình nghe cái giọng nó có vẻ nó rất là nó mỏng, nó sao, nó thin, nó không có full. It's not deep, it's not full. Right. And you actually can change your voice. You can change it a little bit. And it's how you breathe, it's how you talk. Right? A lot of Vietnamese women especially, they have a very high voice.
Yeah.
And it's very thin. And then if you get nervous, and then tự nhiên khi mà nói chuyện nó thành như vậy. No, you have to, you have to be confident.
Right, that's right. That's the thing that I think we are lacking of, you know, like most of us Vietnamese that we talk to the American or we talk to like or the foreigner. Once we don't have the confidence, the voice becomes like kind of echoes or I don't know how to describe that, but
so you have to be confident.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, even if your English is not perfect,
Right.
Okay. Even if you have an accent, it's okay. But speak with confidence.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Nothing wrong with it, actually. Nothing. Bởi vậy những người mà họ like when you see someone talking, tại sao mình nghe người này nói mình thích nghe. Còn người khác mình nghe mình có vẻ you really don't want to, I don't care what he has to say. I don't want to hear him, right?
Exactly.
So it's the way you talk. So everyone needs to just slow down a little bit.
Right.
Right. Concentrate on pushing it out there. Okay. Because I can do the other voice. Yeah. Bây giờ mình nói chuyện rồi tự nhiên cái giọng nói nó thành như vậy. No, just I can do that.
You do pretty good at that.
Right? But it's better just slow down. And everyone can do it. Everyone can change a little bit the quality of your voice.
Right.
Yeah, and then if you just speak with some confidence. Mình không có cần là phải nói chuyện with no accent, nhưng mà phải tự tin. Right? And if when that comes across, it really doesn't matter how you're saying your words, right? But the idea comes across, and then I think people respect more when they hear from people who are confident.
Yeah, they kind of people that work with me. Indeed, they really like. In a way, they kind of like my accent. Like, you got a very cool accent, I would say. And you eat fish sauce and nước mắm, and then you got that kind of accent, you know.
It's funny. I can hear a little bit of the Texas in your accent when you talk.
Yes, that's where I'm from.
Yeah. And thank you for not saying Dallas, Texas. For some reason, whenever Vietnamese say they're from Dallas, they always say, I'm from Dallas, Texas. They always put it, everyone knows where Dallas is. Popular Houston, Texas.
Why? Well, there are actually 5 cities of Dallas here in the U.S. I think from Georgia, Kansas, and I'm not sure from Chicago with a small town, but there's 5 of them, so it's kind of surprised me.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've never heard of the other ones. But most of the time, if I see a Vietnamese and they're from Dallas, I'm pretty sure they're from Dallas, Texas.
Gotta be Texas.
Right. Well, I'm so glad that you were able to get your microphone to work.
Likewise.
You have a wonderful voice.
Thank you.
And you just, I love it. You've got great pronunciation. I love the way you sound. I love, like, your personality comes out in your voice. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you single?
Married. I'm proud father.
You're a grandfather?
No, I'm a proud father.
Oh, you're a proud father. Okay. Do you have any kids?
No, I'm not. Look, you and I have the same age.
Oh, we're the same age.
Yeah, I'm not getting there yet. I'm not getting
okay. Well, when I went back to Vietnam, people our age are already grandparents.
Indeed, yes.
Right.
If you compare with some of that Hispanics, like Mexican mostly.
Right.
Oh, yeah, they are.
yeah. But it's okay. I want to wait.
Yeah, same here. I just want to wait.
All right, Andrew, so nice to meet you. I hope to see you again on another broadcast. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye, Andrew.
Bye.
Oh, we talked to some really fun people. Yeah, so his grammar was also good. So, he works for the federal government, right? And he has to use his English every day. Okay, that was fun. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Remember, past tense verbs. Don't drop that ending sound. It's so important. Don't drop it. People will still understand you, but it's not right. Okay, so, and for instance, I always strive to be correct. Always strive to be right. Like, why not? Like, if you can be, why wouldn't you want to be? I know I read some comments where people, they get very offended. They get very offended that I'm trying to correct pronunciation. And it's very simple. This channel is to help you with better English pronunciation. If you don't want to learn better English pronunciation, don't watch my channel, right? And again, like I just said with Andrew, there's nothing wrong with an accent. Not at all. Nothing wrong with an accent. There's also nothing wrong with wanting to make your English better, learning correct pronunciation. There's nothing wrong with that either. Okay. Mwah. Michael, our moderator. Michael, thank you for being a great mod. And before we go, we got to play that music. It's called Into Space. Okay, Into Space. Relax a little bit. We went a little overtime today. But that was fun talking to everybody. Oh, that's my favorite spot right there. Okay, everybody. We'll see you again, hopefully, Wednesday night. 2 more nights. If you have suggestions on what kind of lessons you would like, all right, let me know in comments. If you want a lesson on, I don't know, whatever it is, let me know. What do you want to learn about? So have a good one, everybody. I just can't get enough of it. Okay, bye. Mwah. See you.